Hello everyone, this is Bapamat. Welcome to some more Homeworlds commentary. This time I've got a match between ktblu and YaiHar, and thought I'd point out a couple of things. One is YaiHar's avatar image is a Homeworld setup with physical pieces. That's kind of interesting. They're a Homeworlds enthusiast. They're ranked quite highly on the board game arena, which is like a ladder system. And ktblu has been featured on the channel a few times. Their avatar is from Burgle Bros. I kind of like that game too. Um, ktblu's elo ranking here is only 158. YaiHar's is much higher. But I've done an, a power ranking algorithm that I have a fair amount of faith in, and ktblu is actually ranked higher on that. I think ktblu must, well, no, I think they play quite a bit because I see their name in the replays all the time. I don't know why their rank is looks as low as it is, but I think ktblu, at least in the power rankings I did, is quite good, and in fact is I think rated higher than YaiHar. Okay, I'm just gonna peek real quick. Yeah, in my power rankings from my algorithm, KT is rated 13th strongest, and YaiHar is 20th. Um, but maybe BGA Elo knows better. I don't know. I'm hoping that this will be a strong game. Either way, um, ktblu taking a red banker, YaiHar taking a red Goldilocks. Um, Boy, I feel like I don't see players. I don't see Red Star versus Red Star very often, and large universes seem to be becoming scarce as well. So this will be like a blast from the past. Both trading for red right away, opening up the mediums. KT gets one, YaiHar gets the other. Reminder for newer players out there that if you trade for a color initially that's something that's a color of which there is not a small star in the game, you may be giving away tempo to the other player. Because you see how quickly the mediums opened up as a result of the both players trading for the smalls because there was a small star already taking one of the smalls out of the bank. Um, yeah, you'll often get mediums fastest this way, and it's usually a good thing. A lot of mirroring going on still, trading for yellows, building medium reds back. Let's see if they. Okay, Katie may have got tired of trading the medium out and traded the small instead. Or they may also just have been thinking that medium yellows and reds are particularly valuable for big tempo swings. Medium blues you don't sacrifice all that often, so a small blue is often almost as good as a medium. YaiHar, on the other hand, trades for the medium blue, but there are no mediums available for building anymore, so I guess it didn't matter quite as much which YaiHar decided to trade. Katie moves the blue out, making more space to build. YaiHar also moves out. Katie spreads out the red, protecting that blue. YaiHar takes another yellow. Thinking about it. Nope, they decide to keep up the mirroring, spread out the reds as well. Katie advances the yellow. Okay, now we finally got a significant difference. Um, Katie has pushed the yellow forward, so they've got a nice happy colony and a place to build more yellows. YaiHar got a jump on building more yellows back at home, and so they'll be able to keep a yellow at home even after they spread out. Katie just has the one ship back at home, so Katie's home might be a little more vulnerable, but they've got a more aggressive colony. So I'm just excited to see how this tiny difference shapes the rest of the game. Okay, Katie building green back at home. YaiHar building green at home as well. Katie may want to trade it for another color so that their home doesn't look quite so desolate anymore. No, Katie building a little yellow. YaiHar won't want to. Well, I guess YaiHar wouldn't actually mind building a yellow back at home and making Katie, well, tempting Katie at least to overpopulate it, since that leaves them really in quite an even position. YaiHar spreading out. Katie spreads out as well, but of course, because Katie had this more aggressive position when they spread out, they're now spreading out to YaiHar's doorstep. I'm really, really curious to see if uh, this choice of when to spread out and build is crucial at the end. Okay, Katie playing it safer in a way. Now they've got a medium ship at both of their colonies, which is better for defense. Let's see. YaiHar spreading out the greens. No, they thought about it. Also thinking about building another, trading for blue instead. That gives YaiHar a pretty good head start in the blues. Katie can't even, well, I guess they could trade their mothership for blue, but that wouldn't help them to have more places to build. Let's see if Katie's worried about the blue. No, pursuing more green. YaiHar is behind by a couple of moves in the green race now. Green is a little extra hard to catch up with, I think. Okay, YaiHar does get a second green ship now. Katie trades one out for yellow. Okay, Katie's... Yeah, if they do that... Yeah, Katie's home looks a lot healthier now. Katie's got every color available at home, and they've got 2 colors of ships. YaiHar spreading out the blues, but discovering a B2 star to do it. That opens up the B3s. Lets Katie build the first one. YaiHar will get to build one right after. You know, not too bad. But it doesn't make progress for YaiHar particularly, and since YaiHar has the advantage in blue ships, if I'm YaiHar, I would be looking for opportunities to exploit it and make sure that I end up with more blues than my opponent does. More large ships, anyway. Okay, that's more like what I would expect. Moving out to a green star will make it so YaiHar has more space to build and might end up with more and better ships if they keep pursuing the blues. Katie thinks it's time for a shopping spree. Oh, yeah, in yellow, so that's not bad. They end up with 2 large yellows and a medium. YaiHar now can build the other Y3, but, you know, Katie got that medium in the meantime. That's not bad. I'm YaiHar. I would have strongly considered building that in the colony for the defense instead. Yeah, now Katie can't roll into my colony with a Y3 and start threatening to capture stuff. Katie trading out for a G3, threatening to rebuild the Y3. No, instead they're looking at building a red. Okay. Yeah, up to this point, both players just had 1 red ship, which you should be reluctant to sacrifice, since it's your only one. Now that Katie's got 2, they can start thinking about being a little more aggressive. YaiHar trading for green instead opens up. That puts that yellow back in the bank. They could consider building. Took them a few tries to decide on it, but yeah, they're going to stick with this. And YaiHar's got 2 pretty good places for building that Y3. Katie may want to trade one of their smaller yellows to block. I guess they could trade it for green. Thinking about just getting aggressive on this blue ship. That's interesting. Okay, so YaiHar's got a particularly interesting choice here to build that nice available Y3 or do something about this invasion, I think are the most obvious things, or try to catch up in reds. Katie's got 2 reds and they're spread out. YaiHar's only got 1 red ship. So building Y3, building R2, or I would even consider sacrificing G3 to build Y3 at home, so you've still got a mothership, and then building B2 in Bleb and B3 in Dioge so that, sure, Katie can capture the B1, but then you can sacrifice and capture the invading R2. You've got a B3. Katie could build the B3 too, so it doesn't really get you ahead, but at least it kind of takes care of this problem. And Katie, if YaiHar decides to build a B3 here, then Katie is the one that needs to think about running, and Katie would have to sacrifice yellow to do it. So that's something to consider. Okay, YaiHar looking at something very similar, but sacrificing the G3 in the colony instead of the mothership. Yeah, I think that's quite reasonable. If Another thing is if Katie decides to build that B3, YaiHar could sacrifice Y2 to move small and medium blues into Alti, and YaiHar would be up by a large ship, which feels pretty good. Let's see what Katie takes. Um, Trading for green? That leaves your R2 out to hang. YaiHar gets to build the Y3. I don't really like anything about this move. Before Katie gets to turn this into a factory where they can sacrifice the G3, rebuild it, and get two other moves, they'll have to get this G1 out of the bank, and the only way they can build it is back at home, where it'll put their mothership at risk. I mean, they could discover it as a star someplace else or trade for it, but I'm just not liking anything about this move, especially when there are other things going on. Okay, YaiHar. Looks like they were thinking about a factory, but then my guess is that they wanted the factory build, but then realized that they would have to build the G1 at home, and YaiHar could blow up their mothership with the Y3 sacrifice. Though, since YaiHar is ahead in large ships, getting Katie to lose one just for losing one of your own doesn't sound too bad to me. Ordinary build. Yeah, that's not too bad. Katie might want to move these medium yellows in one at a time to be pretty annoying, I suppose. Although, if I was YaiHar, I think well, the building the Y3 was more time pressing, but if I'm YaiHar, I would have been very tempted to capture that invading red. Katie building the B3. Yeah, if I'm YaiHar now, I'm definitely going to overpopulate those guys. Don't let Katie catch up in large ships. YaiHar thinking about the capture instead. Yeah, I prefer the overpopulation. Katie now has no blues anywhere. Katie will have to, in order to, so green I think is hard to catch up in building, because to sacrifice a green to build a bunch of green, you're losing one of your greens, and so that your tempo is your ability to catch up is kind of capped. Blue is also hard to get back into once you're completely out, because you have to have a ship. If you have no blue ships anywhere, you've got to get a ship to a blue star and then trade for blue there, and you automatically have two ships, two pieces at the same system. One of them's the same color as the star, and if your opponent has two blues someplace, then they're going to be at risk. So getting knocked totally out of blue is a little scary. Okay. That's YaiHar's choice. Let's see if Katie tries to save that red or doing something else. Spreading out the greens. Maybe sacrificing yellow. Okay, sacrificing the little yellow to get the red out of there. Okay, YaiHar now. Sacrificing the green to build 2 greens and a yellow. These greens are at risk if Katie's willing to sacrifice the Y3 to get the little green the whole way across the universe. Um, but that wouldn't be too bad for YaiHar. They'd still be ahead in larges. In fact, they'd be ahead in larges by 2, as they are now. YaiHar changes their mind though, builds. Looking at a few different options. Gonna go with a vanilla yellow build rather than the factory. Yeah, that's okay too. Katie taking a medium red. YaiHar taking medium red. Let's see if Katie, I think it'd be a pretty good catch-up move for Katie to sacrifice the G1 to build a red here in this colony. It's less good, so Katie's looking at the factory, but there's still that little that little green in the bank is keeping both of them from having a factory that they're happy with. Oh, spreading out the reds? No, I would sacrifice the little green, even though it makes factory-ing less likely in the future. I would get that big red immediately. YaiHar, yeah, I think I'd try to block that R3 build. Trading for one of them? I guess that's not too bad. That does at least bring YaiHar up to 3 red ships, which is the number needed to knock out Katie's red star. But Katie's going to catch up in material some. Yeah, Katie's up to 3 larges and YaiHar has 4, so it's more even than it was. YaiHar still has the nice blue advantage. YaiHar's got more red to throw around, though. Let's see what happens now. Oh, and yeah, so since Katie discovered that G1 star, that took that green out of the bank, so now YaiHar's got a fully developed factory. Gets 2 blue builds here. Looking a little bad for Katie, I think. Can Katie find a way to get a blue? The mothership, that works technically, but they'll have to do some shuffling around. They'll have to bring another mothership home. They'll have to bring one of their largest home to be the new mothership and then move this blue out before they can build safely. And even at that, if Katie commits to this and YaiHar decides to sacrifice a Y3 to bring 1 blue to Katie's home and move another one within 1 move, Katie will want to trade that big blue out. And even if they do, YaiHar can sacrifice green to build some more blue in Katie's home and knock out the star. So yeah, Katie cannot save their blue star if they commit to this. Okay, they did commit. Let's see if YaiHar sees that opportunity. Sacrificing the Y3 at home to move two blues, one all the way in and one just close. Yeah, okay, let's see what Katie does. Sacrifice the Y2 to do some reshuffling. Okay. Katie will at least be able to get on the blue action. Let's see if YaiHar has the presence of mind to sacrifice green for the build. Well, I guess they may end up sacrificing the yellow to bring their 2 existing blue ships in, but I think they'd be better off building instead. Yeah, factory build to blow up the blue star. And Katie is in very big trouble. YaiHar can sacrifice Y3 to move 3 reds directly into Katie's home. Now that Katie's home has lost the medium star, it's connected to connected to these two colonies. Um, Katie's only defense, I think, is to knock out two of these reds with a Y2 sacrifice. Let's see if they come up with it. Sacrifice Y2 to bring in a couple of reds. Yep, that could keep Katie alive for a while here, but it's looking pretty bad. YaiHar sacrificing yellow to bring. Okay, knocking out Katie's mothership would be a pretty good blow. But YaiHar thinking about just moving in the Y3 without the sacrifice. Yeah, I think that should work just fine too, actually. I don't think Katie can deal with this. Just the capture is pretty bad because YaiHar can sacrifice Y2, bring in the Y1 and a red and a large red to start knocking everything out. Yeah, that's the plan here. I wonder if Katie had something else they could have done. No, I mean once that Y3 is in your home and YaiHar has an R3 to back it up, I don't think Katie had any way out of that. Okay, good on YaiHar for seeing those opportunities. Yeah, and Katie. Oh, YaiHar says, okay, let's just win right away with a sacrifice and build, knock out the star. Okay, well, pretty good game there. I was a little disappointed in a few of Katie's choices. I think brought the game to a quicker end than it needed to be. And maybe I'll be looking back over my. I do have a new power ranking system almost implemented. It's just slow to run. I'm looking for optimizations so that it will finish in my lifetime, and maybe we'll get a new ranking. But yeah, thanks to the players for a fun game, and thanks to you guys for watching.